shooting these videos sequentially because I think of things and I write them down, and then I don't have time to mess with it, and then I'll have a night where I'm by myself at home and nobody's running around yelling and screaming, and we don't have homework and stuff like that to do, and we don't have band practice, and we don't have basketball practice, and we don't have 4-H meetings, and so I can shoot multiple videos in a row. This video is about patience and selfishness. And what brought this up is I went to shop for Thanksgiving stuff, just a few things that I'd forgotten the last time I was at the store. And every time I go to the store, I am just beside myself with anger at all the people that are just getting in the way. And this happens on the road, daily. And every one of you that's watching this video knows, because you have to deal with it daily. Driving down the road and people just pull out in front of you. They don't care that they're slowing you down, or you're in your lane. The lane's ending over here, and it says, "Hey, this lane ends. Get over." And people fly up to the front of the line, and then they force their way in, and they slow everybody in that line down. And a lot of people, if that's you, you're probably laughing right now, going, "Ha ha, idiot!" Like, well, hey, just because you're stupid and don't get up to the front of the line doesn't mean I have to be stupid as well. You're actually a selfish jerk, is what you are. If you do that, and you know what, we're all people, we all do this kind of stuff. Every one of us has areas where we're impatient and we are selfish, and I have to remind myself almost daily, be patient, your life will be better for it. And it is, and it's a decision. So the point I'm wanting to drive home is that there is an area in our lives where we are patient with each other and we are not being selfish. So you don't want to be the person that's yelling at everybody and cutting people off and driving all erratically because you're so angry and so impatient. Because even if other people are being slow and being in your way, you don't want to be that extreme. You also don't want to be the person that's slowing everybody down and that's not even attempting to get out of the way. You want to be somewhere in the middle. And sure, we're going to slow people down sometimes, and sure, we're going to get upset at people because they're slowing us down sometimes, but we've got to try to be in the middle. And what I'm seeing more and more often is that people are being extremely selfish and extremely impatient, and it all kind of comes from the same area, although it manifests in different ways. This specifically isn't about driving, it's about at the store. So, and these are things that I've seen recently and that I see all the time at the store. Doesn't matter what store I'm at. Walmart's the worst. That's the one that I'm most likely talking about. It's the worst because there's tons of people there. And partly because the employees are now having to run around pulling stuff off the shelves to go to the pickup thing, and they got those giant carts, and they don't care if they get in your way. But let's not talk about the employees for a minute, even though multiple times they've gotten in my way as well, intentionally gotten in my way with disregard for customer service. However, they have a job to do, so let's not even talk about them at the moment. So I'm just talking about customers. If you are pushing your cart down the aisle and you stop and you're looking at the shelf, you're trying to figure out what you want, but you've done everything humanly possible to get out of the way, I don't have a problem with you. I'll sit and wait behind you because I've been there too. I have to look at stuff too. And it's my responsibility to be patient if you're doing everything that you can to just do your job and get out of the way. I look at this the same way as I look at smoking and pedal biking down the road. If you're smoking in public and you make any effort whatsoever to not make everybody else deal with your smoke, then I don't really have any problem with you. Some people might, but I don't really have a problem with you. Of course, I smoke pipes and I smoke cigars here and there, mostly pipe, and I used to smoke a little bit, so maybe I'm biased, but I don't pedal bike, and it drives me nuts when I have to wait behind a pedal biker. However, if a pedal biker's going down the road and they make a reasonable effort to not slow me down, then I don't care if it slows me down. I will wait patiently behind them, and even in those situations where there's no shoulder on the road, and I'm thinking in my head, why'd they choose this road? Like, choose a road with a shoulder. But, okay, this might be the route, whatever. That's going on in my head, but I understand. They may not have known. Maybe somebody else chose the route. Whatever. I know that they don't want to get too close to the edge. I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to hit the ditch either. I wouldn't want to risk hitting some kind of a big jagged shoulder and like whipping out into traffic or whipping out in the ditch. I don't want them to get hurt. So I get that. But if they're riding 3 abreast and they look over their shoulder and see a car and don't go in line, then I get mad because they make no effort to not slow me down. If you make a little bit of effort to not slow me down, even if it slows me down, I understand. Not a big deal. I will be patient. I will block for you. I'll keep other cars further back off of you, and I will wait until it's safe to go around without crowding you, and then I'll go around as long as you make some effort to not slow me down. If there's no effort to be made, if there's absolutely no way that you can not slow me down, no problem. I understand. The same is true in the store. So if you try to get your cart out of my way but you can't, no problem. The situations that I get upset about are if the aisle is big enough for two people to go through, and you've got your cart like here, and you go stand over on the other side of the aisle and you're looking around like reading the labels and putting stuff back. I get it. I have to read the labels too sometimes, but you haven't made it. You've blocked both lanes. Nobody can go around you. It's at a standstill. So either you're an inconsiderate jerk, or you're just not paying attention to your surroundings, or both. And you're not doing yourself any favors doing either of those two things. And you're certainly not doing anybody else any favors. But your life isn't as good as it could be if you're an inconsiderate jerk or you're not paying attention to the things around you, or both. So try to get out of the way. Just try to get your cart over where you are, get as close to your cart as you can, look at the stuff, everybody will be a little bit happier. Some people will still be impatient, but that's the first thing. The second thing is if you're having a conversation and you block the end of an aisle or the middle of an aisle, it doesn't matter, but you're standing there talking to somebody. I get it. You see somebody that you hadn't seen them in a while, you want to sit and chat, that's cool. Just kind of pull over to the side. And I see people do that all the time. It's not a problem, but I see a lot of people that just kind of stand there with their carts going opposite ways, kind of like you see people pull up in the road, roll their window down, they start talking, and they don't care that you're sitting behind them waiting to go somewhere. I just want to ram people whenever that happens. I don't ram people, but I want to. So don't do that. You're either an inconsiderate jerk or you're not paying attention. What's next? Kids. If you have kids, control your young. Okay? I'm all the time getting my kids out of the way of people. I get my kids out of the way of people when they're not in the way of people, because I just want my kids to understand that they need to be paying attention, they need to be looking around, they need to be making sure that they're not in people's way, and they need to know who's coming up and down aisles. It's good for situational awareness and self-awareness. It's not just about getting out of people's way. It's also about being alert, right? So I'm all the time on my kids about that. Not all the time anymore. They've grown up, and they tend to try to stay out of people's way when we're in the store, and stay close to the cart and stuff like that. But all the time I see like somebody's got a cart over here and their kids are running up and down the aisle, and they're over here like beside the cart milling around playing grab tail, and I'm sitting there waiting on either the kids or the cart to get out of the way, and I kind of want to like bump a kid, but I'm not going to do that, and the parents just oblivious to what their kids are doing. It baffles me. So if you're a parent and you're not paying attention to what your kids are doing, or you're refusing to deal with it, you're a bad parent. I probably just made some people really mad, but that's a failure in parenting. I've done it too, though. There have been times where I've been focused on something else and I hadn't been paying attention to my kids. That I was a bad parent at that time. I'm still a bad parent from time to time in numerous ways. Okay, so tonight there was a guy going along, and he's like shuffling along with his cart, and he wasn't getting anything. He's just like going random places, and then he would just stop randomly. And I was following him, and he would go along, and then he'd like shuffle his feet and stop and look around, and then he'd go a little bit and slide his feet and stop. And this is a grown man. Like, he has a better beard than I got. He was younger than me, but full beard, college kid, I think. Anyway, I'm like, what is this guy doing? It was driving me nuts. I finally got around. He went to the back of the store, grabbed some milk and stuff, come around. Well, he'd gone through one of the lateral aisles and got back in front of me, and he's still doing the same thing. And I wound up getting around him again, and went on. But then right after that, I tried to turn into an aisle, and there was a guy coming out of the aisle, and this guy and his girlfriend or wife, they were coming up the aisle. It's kind of nonchalantly, slowly, meandering, looking around, laughing, talking, which is fine. That's not a problem. But then the dude stops like halfway in front of me and halfway in front of this other guy. The other guy looks at me, he's like, go ahead. And I was like, I can't. and I like look at this dude's cart, and I'm like, and he just stopped there, and he's like, he turned around and starts telling a joke to his girlfriend or his wife, and she was sort of oblivious, but eventually she's like, hey, you need to move. And so he like backed his cart up. He slowly, it took him a minute. He backed his cart up, and then I went, and then the other guy came out. But I'm like, golly. So that got me thinking, if you find yourself in Walmart and you're meandering around like Jibber John or whatever, and like you're not getting anything, you're just meandering around getting in people's way, do yourself a favor, and the rest of us, turn your cart around, take it up to the front of the store, park it, preferably put it in the cart rack so that the guy doesn't have to do it. Be nice. Go to your car, get in your car, go home or to work or wherever, and start making a list of all the things that you need to do that day, because you need some more things to do in your life. You've got too much time to meander around Walmart not getting anything. If you do find yourself making a list of things that you need at Walmart, cool. That's a good sign. Finish the list. Go get back in your car, go back to Walmart, and intentionally go around and get that stuff. All right? You're welcome. You're welcome. I just made your life better. That's pretty much it. The last thing that I want to talk about, can I remember what it was? This is not related, but it is related to the selfishness. Okay. We've been going to our hometown's home football games and a lot of the away games this year because my son's doing marching band. He doesn't play football, but he's doing marching band. And we've been going to watch. And then the team has been doing really well. So a lot more fans are going to the games. And I'm hearing people talking about supporting the home team and going and cheering for them so that they can do better and cheering for the band. And the spirit has been really, really good in our town this year. They went to the playoffs, but they didn't win. They won first round. They didn't win second round. One thing I noticed is at the end of every game, there was crap tons of trash laying all over the stands. And it makes me really, really upset that people are all gung-ho to go cheer for their team, to support their team, and then they leave trash around the stands. I can kind of understand. I don't understand if you're the away team and you're in the visitor stands. I still don't understand. Pick your stupid trash up and throw it in the trash. However, at least it's not your stands. At least it's somebody from your school doesn't have to pick up all the trash in the stands. And it baffles me that people do this. It's extremely selfish, and it makes no sense to me. If you're leaving trash behind in the stands, you are not supporting your team. You think you are, but you're not. You're absolutely not. So pick up after yourselves. If more of us did, if everybody picked up their own trash, we wouldn't even need to do that. But pick up your trash, and especially if you're supporting your home team, but you're leaving trash behind, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. You're not doing anything to support anybody. Sure, you're cheering at the game. That's easy. Anybody can do that. Anybody can pick up their trash too. That's easy. How are you not doing this? How are hundreds of people not doing this every week? I don't get it. Be better people. Let's all be better people, right? Thank you for watching.